Joe Satriani, American guitar wizard. He's been releasing albums for over 35 years now. This is the first one, Not of This Earth. The original cover on this was different. It was type of an alien planet or something like that. I can't remember. But when he got signed to Sony from Relativity Records, this was the repackaged version. Still, this one was released in 1986. The Sony version is from '88. Not of This Earth. This album was done by Joe himself, mainly. There's an interesting story of this in his book that he wrote. Not of This Earth, The Snake, Rubina, Memories. It's just really slick with gated drums, and the guitars are... He's doing a lot of new things here, yeah. It does sound quite 80s though. But I like it, that's interesting. Again, there's not much in here really. Produced by John Coniberty. He produced Satch for a long time. Jeff Capitelli plays drums on this. He's a fantastic drummer, really like him. Joe plays bass, guitar, keyboards, percussion. Yeah, so there you go. Not a bad introduction to Joe, and definitely worth investigating if you're into guitar music. Next up was his big breakthrough in 1987, Surfing with the Alien. This set the guitar community alight. It's a masterpiece really of guitar work. There's no way around that. It's got all the classics here. Surfing with the Alien, Ice 9, Crushing Day, Always With Me, Always With You, Satch Boogie, that's a fantastic track. Hill of the Skull, Circles, Lords of Karma, Midnight, Echo. Again produced by John Coniberty. It's a very enjoyable album. And again, fascinating story of how they nearly ran out of tracks and stuff like that, and you know, the limitations of analog and stuff. But this is probably an essential guitar album for anybody. This is the Legacy Edition. I think it's the 20th anniversary. Yeah, from '07. Just got a DVD here, and it's Montreux Festival 1988. Yeah, it's not too bad. A couple of videos as well. Geeky Joe. Some nice artwork. And Joe exclusively, it's John Coniberty there, plays Ibanez guitars, his own signature models. Nice outfit. But when he's recording, he uses lots of different types of guitars, Fenders, Gibsons. If you read the book, you'll find all that out. Dreaming number 11. This is just an EP, but it was released on compact disc somewhere along the line. The Crush of Love is a studio track on this, and that's a great track. I love it. It's kind of a outtake, I think, from Surfing, or it was recorded around that time. Then live here you got Ice 9, Memories, Hordes of Locusts. Next up is Flying in the Blue Dream. This was released in 1989. Joe actually sings on this. There's a lot of tracks on it, 18 in fact. Flying in a Blue Dream itself is a fantastic track, beautiful guitar tone on that. And there's some dynamic playing in the mystical potato head groove thing. Insane technique on that. Can't Slow Down, he's singing on that, it's not great. Headless, I think that's kind of a banjo type thing. Strange, that sounds like Prince, just really does sound like something off Sign of the Times. I Believe it's kind of a sentimental ballad, I wouldn't be gone on it. One Big Rush, One or Big Bad Moon and The Feeling. The Phone Call, kind of a rhythm and bluesy thing. It's a bit like Stevie Ray Vaughan singing down the telephone line. It's actually quite good. The rest of it isn't bad. Forgotten Part 1 and 2, Bells of Loud Part 1 and 2, and Ride. Oh, that's about a motorbike. It's pretty, yeah. So there you go, that's 9. Good album. Bit long, that's the only thing. Next up is The Extremist. This was released in 1992. This is a pretty good album, pretty raw sounding. I think you got the Bisonet Brothers on bass and drums, produced by Andy Johns, classic rock producer. Oh, that's a good album. What I love on this one is Rubina's Blue Sky Happiness. That's a great track, and New Blues. Fantastic. When you turn this up, the drum sound is massive. Yeah, you can just hear the room sound. So yeah, pretty good album. Next up is Time Machine. This was released in 1993. It's a kind of an odds and sods thing with some live stuff on it as well. It's good. It's got some leftovers from the Extremist sessions, and then it goes backwards, and it's got some unreleased stuff. What's on there that I love? Banana Mango 2. That is fantastic. I think Simon Phillips plays drums on some of that as well. And then you've got a live album, and it's from 1988 and 1992 or 3 tour era. Yeah, that's a good one. Certainly worth investigation. Next up is the self-titled Joe Satriani. This was released in 1995. I actually saw him before Christmas '95 at the Point Depot in Dublin. It was a great gig. He had Stu Ham on bass with him, and Jeff Capitelli on drums. It was a great gig. I think I got to shake hands with Stu Ham. Yeah, it was funny. He was kind of like, shaking hands from the stage and stuff like that. I remember he had the Irish soccer team jersey. It was actually quite funny, and he played Ole Ole Ole, that crap that they used to chant during the World Cup, on his bass. This is a good album. It's quite stripped back. It sounds like it's live in the studio. Cool number 9. There's some nice guitar on this. I think Manu Katché plays drums on it as well. If, Down Down Down, SMF, Look My Way Home, Moroccan Sunset, that's good. Killer Bebop, that's another really good one. It's like Satch Boogie Part 2. Again, the album's probably a little bit too long, but it's a good album. I think Andy Fairweather Low plays rhythm guitar on it. Yeah, it's a good album, very slick. Yeah. And I think this is the last album of Joe's where he has long hair. Next up is the G3, I think, live in concert. I only bought this just for the collection. It was released in 97. It's not great as an album because it kind of... You've got Satriani, 3 tracks from him, and then Eric Johnson, 3 tracks, and Steve Vai, 3 tracks, and then there's the 3 together have a big jam, and they play Going Down, My Guitar Wants to Kill Your Mama. That's a Zappa track, and then Red House. Wouldn't be my thing, but just a collector's piece. Next up is Crystal Planet. This was released in 1998. A New Look Joe here. It's a good album, actually. There's some good stuff on it. House Full of Bullets is very good. Raspberry Jam Delta is another good one on that as well. Yeah, some of this, it's a little bit of sequence, I think, electronic sounding. Here we go. Stu Ham, bass. Jeff Capitelli on drums. I think he's a very underrated drummer. Fantastic drummer. Engines of Creation. Now this one is Joe's electronic album. All the tracks are electronic, and he makes nude sounds with guitar, but this one I was never really into. I didn't really like it. A lot of the beats are almost like the Chemical Brothers, you know, but a bit unconvincing. Yeah, it wouldn't be for me. It's produced by Joe and Eric Cadillo, French production wizard who worked with a lot of people. But yeah, this one I wouldn't really be gone on. I hardly ever play it. I prefer Joe with a band. Next up is Live in San Francisco. This was released on DVD also. I have the DVD and I just bought this as an afterthought. It's from the Engines of Creation tour. So you get to hear some of those tracks with a band. And plus a lot of the older hits as well. A double in the box falling apart. I don't know how these things work, but they're crap. Next up is Strange Beautiful Music. This is from 2002. This one never really took a shine to it. It's a bit long, but it's brilliant on this. Sleepwalk. It's an old track, I think, from the 60s. It's fantastic. But there's some good stuff on this. Again, produced by Joe and John Coniverty and Eric Cadillo. His book is called Strange Beautiful Music. That's where the title came from. Yeah, I don't know. I never really kind of stuck on me. Is There Love in Space? This is another one. This is from 2004. It kind of goes under the radar a bit. Cover artwork is a bit horrible. The first track there is kind of poppy. If I Could Fly, I think he sued Coldplay because it sounds like one of their tracks. I think Coldplay sound like everybody. So boring. Yeah, he was bashing him out at this stage. But Jeff Capitelli plays drums here, thank God, and Matt Bissonette on bass. Next up is Super Colossal. I really like this one. I think it's a great album. Again, you know, every second album I kind of fall out of favour with. They don't grab me, and then you get, you know, he's not, everything doesn't grab you all the time, you know. So I think there's probably 5 or 6 brilliant albums. The rest of it sounds okay, you know, they don't grab you. Super Colossal is very good. There's some great tracks on this, Just Like Lightning. It's so good. Retrofright, 10 words, Cool in a Way, One Robot's Dream, The Meaning of Love. There's some great stuff on this. Crowd Chant at the end is good as well. Again, there's some tracks there with Simon Phillips, and I think he's a fantastic drummer. And Jeff Capitelli plays on the other tracks. Simon Phillips plays on 6, 7, 8 and 9, and they're some of my favourite tracks on the album. Yeah, this one is a keeper. It's a really good one. Like every track is rewarding on it. Yeah. Professor Satriani and the Monsterian of Rock. This is from 2008. Again, another one that never really grabbed me. exclusive Guitar Center Deluxe CD and DVD. Some live stuff on the DVD, behind the scenes and stuff. So, see these boxes, just CDs boxes. They just fall to pieces. And very finicky, very delicate. I prefer paper sleeves for CDs. Like miniature vinyl, they always work the best and they last way long. These things, like they fall out of your hand, they break. Yeah, CD boxes I have a big problem with. I have a big problem with them. There's another live one here, Paris 2008. There's another live one as well from the Super Colossal tour, Satriani Live. I actually don't have that on CD, must get it sometime, but I have it on DVD. It's a good concert. Again, this goes through new stuff and old stuff. Yeah, I have the DVD for that as well. Black Swans and Wormhole Wizards. This is from 2010. It's not a bad album. There's some nice stuff on it. Nice natural sound on it as well. Little Wordle Lane. Yeah, it reminds you of Clapton, some of the tracks. Yeah. CD boxes are just make me want to show somebody. Next up is Unstoppable Momentum. That's not a bad one as well. I think Vinnie Colaiuta and is playing drums on this one. Yeah, I like this. Some good stuff on it, some complex rhythms and stuff like that. Yeah, I prefer these. This card packaging for a CD. It just works a lot better. You know, much better than the jewel case. Shockwave Supernova. This is from 2015. This is a fantastic album. I love it. I also have the vinyl, but I got the CD. It's like skin. You know, it's kind of a velvety feel to it. The artwork on this is fantastic. Look at that. Yeah, but it's a great album. It really is a good album. On drums here he has Marco Miniman, and Vinnie Colaiuta plays drums on 3, 4, 8 and 11. Probably leftover sessions from the last album. That seems to be what happens a lot in his work. But Miniman is just unbelievable. Yeah, I really like this album. I mean, when it came out, I just played it to death. It really is a cracker. It really is a good album, and definitely worth checking out. Next up is What Happens Next. Yeah, again, this one kind of failed to grab me. Yeah, it has Chad Smith from the Peppers on drums and Glenn Hughes on bass. Some good stuff on it, but again, you know, I think if it doesn't grab you in the first couple of plays, well then yeah, it kind of goes back into the, yeah, just didn't grab me the way. Lovely CD package, by the way. Guitar is all foil. Yeah, it just didn't grab me the way. Yeah, so every second one doesn't do that. You know. Anyway. And finally, Shape Shifting. This was released 2 years ago, and this is a great album as well. I would definitely put it up there with Shockwave, Supernova. A great album, there's no doubt about that. All the tracks I really like on it. Some great guitar playing as well. When I say great guitar playing, I mean Joe's great, but there's great feel in the tracks. Yeah. This one is great. Who was on this with him? Kenny Aronoff drums and Chris Cheney bass. Lisa Coleman piano on Waiting and Yesterday. I think she played with Prince in the Revolution. Christopher Guest mandolin. Eric Cadu is also there on sound design and keyboards. Jim Scott percussion, Mike Manning claps, Neil Baldock claps. Produced by Jim Scott. Yeah, that's his latest album really. I bet you there's one about to drop, I'm not sure. So there you go, that's Joe Satriani on Compact Disc. Thanks for watching, feel free to subscribe and take care.